My name is Miss Erin from C.C. Mellor Memorial Library, and I'm here for today's middle grade moment, where we're going to talk about 3 book series that are great for 9 to 12-year-olds and an activity that goes along with them. I don't know about you all, but I am ready for a laugh. So I thought we could talk about 3 book series that are super funny and an activity that always makes me smile. So our first book series today is the Wayside School Books by Louis Sachar. The first book is called Sideways Stories from Wayside School. And there are actually 4 books in this series. The first 3 are available on Hoopla as ebooks, and the 4th book is available, actually it just came out, as an audiobook on Hoopla. I just listened to this one and it really made me laugh. The author reads it himself, which is super fun. So Wayside School is a school that was designed to be 30 classrooms all laid out in a row next to each other, but the builders got it wrong and they accidentally built 30 classrooms all one on top of the other. So the book series follows the kids in the classroom on the 30th floor, which starts out as Mrs. Gorf's class. And Mrs. Gorf is really, really mean, and she turns children into apples. And you'll have to read the book to figure out what happens to her. But each story in the book follows a different kid or a different scenario in the class. So they all have to do with the kids in the class, but the stories aren't necessarily one right after each other telling one overarching story in the book. So it can be fun to read a few at a time or dip in and out if you can stop at just one story. I know I couldn't. So that's our first series. Sideways Stories from Wayside School is the first book. The next book series I wanted to talk to you about is called The Terrible Two, and it's by Jory, John, and Mac Barnett, and this is another book series. So this is book 1, and then there are, I want to say there are 3 more books, but you'd have to double check. I know the first book is available as both an ebook and an audiobook on Hoopla, and this is a book about Miles Murphy, who was the biggest prankster in his class at his old school, but he's just moved to a new town called Yanni Valley. And the only thing to do in Yanni Valley, the only thing Yanni Valley is famous for is cows. And so he is sure that this town is going to be so boring and he is going to need to be the prankster to liven it up. But when he gets to his new school, he finds out there's already a class prankster. And he has to figure out who that class prankster is, whether they're going to have to compete for the title, or whether they'll be able to team up and create the most elaborate pranks ever together. So this one is super, super funny. But both of these books have been about school, and I don't know about you, but we're not in school right now. So maybe you want to read about something a little bit different. Maybe you want to read a fantasy. So let's look at a funny fantasy series. The first book in this series is called Dealing with Dragons, and the book series is called The Enchanted Forest Chronicles. So it's by Patricia C. Wrede, and it follows Princess Cimarine, who is not a proper princess and really would rather be doing something useful with her time, but her parents want her to gain all the proper princess skills and find a prince to marry. Well, she doesn't want to do that, so she tries to take lessons from the cook. And when her parents find out that she's been cooking, they forbid her from doing that. So she tries to take lessons from the fencing master to learn to sword fight. And when her parents find that out, they forbid her from doing that. So she decides to run away from home, and with the directions that she gets from a talking frog, she runs away to the dragons. And the dragons, one of the dragons, whose name is Kazul, takes her on as her princess. And so they are trying to figure out the mystery of why some of the dragons are falling sick from a sneezing sickness. So this is a book if you like wizards and princesses and dragons and fairy tales and fantasy. This is a super fun one. It's not necessarily as full of jokes as the first two books that we talked about, but it's full of kind of silly situations and things that make you laugh because they're just so out there, so weird from what you're used to when you read a fantasy or a fairy tale retelling. So those are 3 different book series that you can find, and this is the first of 4 books. They are all available as ebooks on Hoopla. So we've got the Enchanted Forest Chronicles, we have the Terrible 2 book series, and we have Sideways Stories from Wayside School. The Wayside School books are 3 different book series that you could read if you need a laugh. But what about an activity that you could do if you need a laugh? So I really like doing, I don't know if you've ever seen these, Mad Libs. It is a block of text or a paragraph or a page with a story or a little essay on it, but some of the words are missing. And they tell you the parts of speech for the words that are missing. And then you get to come up with a random word that fits that part of speech and try to make the story as silly as possible. So I'm going to put a link in the description of this video that lets you print out a few pages of these if you want to do them away from a screen. But there's also an app now, a Mad Libs app, and until the end of April, the app has turned off any additional features that you need to buy, and so everything on it is free right now. Obviously, if you're going to download an app from the App Store on a tablet or a smartphone, you need to talk to an adult and get their permission to do it. But if you decide to go that route, you can try out a story from the Mad Libs collection. Let's try out a story together. And we can talk about the different parts of speech and come up with something super silly to make us laugh. All right, so this one is called Family Rock Band. So let's give it a try. So it tells us that we are looking for an adjective. And if we're not sure what an adjective is, we can swipe this little face over to the question mark and it will tell us what it is. It says describes people, places, or things. And then it's giving us some examples. Let's see those examples again. Salty, queasy, funky, rich, smart, hairy. I like rich. Let's give that one a try. All right, so we say rich, and then we say next. Ooh, a last name. Let's use the library's last name. Let's say Meller. Adjective. So we need another describing word. How about tall? Ooh, now we need a noun. So what is a noun? A noun is a person, place, or thing, like a lizard, a candy cane, a beach, an umbrella. Well, I'm going to put down gerbil. Okay, now we need another adjective. So if we run out of ideas for an adjective, we can swipe over to the little idea picture and it'll give us some options. Let's go with hairy. Ooh, a plural noun. So a plural noun is a noun again, a person, place, thing, or idea. But this time we need more than one of it. So instead of elephant, we would put elephants. Let's do elephants. All right, so now we need another noun. How about a heart? Another adjective, another description word. How about yellow? Colors are always a fun one. Gotta spell it right though. Okay, plural noun. Parks. Another noun. Pencil. adjective. Ooh, I'm out of ideas. Let's look at their ideas again. Ooh, how about cool? Plural noun. Books. Another adjective. So another description word. Hungry. Adjective again. Bright. A noun. Another person, place, thing, or idea. How about a mask? An adverb. What's an adverb? We haven't had to do that yet. So, it describes a verb, and it usually ends in ly, like slowly, or rarely, or intentionally. Let's look at their ideas again. Loudly, quickly, patiently. I like patiently. I'm not feeling very patient now, so we'll do patiently. A letter of the alphabet. Well, I think you can probably guess my favorite letter of the alphabet. Let's do letter E. A noun. We're gonna say belly. All right, it's putting all of our words in our story. Let's read it. Family rock band. I don't come from your average rich family. That's because we're all part of the Meller family rock band, and we lead a very tall life. For example, by not shaving his gerbil every morning. Shaving his gerbil. My dad saves enough time to practice the hairy drums. My brother doesn't participate in extracurricular elephants at school because he plays the electric harp. My yellow sister doesn't have time to date Parks because she sings lead vocals and practices for 4 to 5 hours every pencil. When I'm not writing our cool songs, I'm tickling the books on the keyboard, so I don't have any free time either. Finally, Mom is our hungry manager. She books our band to play at weddings, bright 16s, and mask mitzvahs. Maybe someday, if we practice patiently enough, we'll get to make a music video for ETV and play sold-out shows at Madison Square Belly. All right, that was pretty silly. So, if we want to, we can go down and play the next story in this list, or we can scroll up and even replay this story. If you go down to one you've done before, like we just did Family Rock Band, and click on it again, you could replay the story and put in a totally different set of words and see how that changes at this time. Either way, whether you decide to play with paper or on a screen or device, I hope you have a lot of fun with Mad Libs. I hope you practice your parts of speech. That's what you can tell your parents while you're playing these games. And let me know if you have any other kinds of books that make you laugh a lot, any other suggestions that you think I should read when I'm looking for a funny book, or if you like the books that I suggested today. Thanks for stopping by for this week's middle grade moment. I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.